We were just a bunch of Spud boys from Ohio, and so the idea of like Mick Jagger walking into the same room we were in, just that alone was like overwhelming.
Listen up, Spuds. Welcome to Devolutionary Times. Devolutionary Times. Devolutionary Times. Devolutionary Times.
De-evolution, self-execution, no solution. I'm a potato. I got eyes all around.
We need eyes all around as this world falls apart faster and faster. We have to see what's coming and going and what's sneaking up on us from behind. De-evolutionary Times. It's not too late to whip it good.
Good. I like to shoot 'em all.
Hi, I'm Bob One.
I'm Jerry,
I'm Mark.
and we're Devo, and we're ready now with episode 2 of the rollout of our video restorations, our music video restorations, which were actually films restored by preservationist Peter Conheim. And today we're kicking off with Satisfaction.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Satisfaction was our favorite Rolling Stones song, and we deconstructed it.
To set this up a little bit, we had heard that some New York bands were going to do covers of Rolling Stone songs and put out an album. So we thought, well, we should do one too, whether they've asked us or not, which is how we started playing Satisfaction. And I remember Mark's trying to sing Paint It Black to that guitar lick that we were all playing along to, and it,
Right.
and after like 10 minutes, it was like, nah.
And then started singing Satisfaction.
That's right.
Satisfaction was written, it was kind of interesting because it almost got totally written in one like 4 or 5 hour session of us just jamming, and Alan did this beat that was kind of backwards.
I said, that sounds like backward reggae. So then I tried to make a mutated reggae bass line, and so it was just experimentation, and we were having fun. We were laughing. And once that staccato riff started gelling, then Mark and Bob put the great stuff over the top that glued it all together. And all we did is add a progression. And there it was. This one's Come Back Jonee. This is the next film that we shot. We had been ensconced in Hollywood all of 2 months. We had moved from Akron, Ohio, but we had played in clubs. We had developed a huge following. There was a big buzz about Devo. And we decided to do something to try to capture the insane audiences that we were encountering in Hollywood that were over the top, out of control. He put posters on the street on Sunset Boulevard, said, hey, want to be in a movie? Come to the Roxy, August, whatever it was. And a crowd of more than 500 people showed up starting hours before outside the Roxy, when we could only pick about 100 people. And we had to go through the crowd and pick people, and the people that weren't getting picked were getting really, really angry, and there were fights on the street and everything. And we filled the Roxy with as many people as the fire department would let us film. And we shot basically us doing playback to the song as if it was live from a stage that was decorated like a corral. And we were in black cowboy outfits. And the crowd acted as if we were playing live. We only got 3 takes before they had destroyed the set, ripped stuff off of our clothing, stole Mark's hat, knocked over instruments. And it, the video shows that fantastic energy. And there's only like a cursory insert that begins the film and ends the film with old men dressed as cowboys bowling to go along with one piece of the song where there's an arpeggiated rise on Mark's synthesizer where the ball hits the pins. And that was filmed in Minneapolis, once again for budgetary reasons, where Chuck Statler went to employees overload, where people that were, on the street or alcoholics or had lost their jobs for one reason or another, went and tried to get hired daily. So he got like
These three guys.
3 cowboys for like $10 and took them to a local bowling alley and shot them trying to bowl. And of course they couldn't, the ball that finally you see them after they released the ball that you see, Chuck Statler, in fact,
Had
threw
to.
the ball because they were all gutter balls.
Everybody threw a gutter ball.
Once again, you guys out there, devotees, you submitted some great questions that we chose from.
Here, Bob, you're next.
Cornelius Mitchell.
Cornelius Mitchell asked, any feedback from Mick Jagger or Keith Richards regarding your amazing cover of Satisfaction?
Oh, yeah.
We can say yes to that. Yeah.
Yes to that.
Back then, we were actually in trouble with Warner Brothers and with Virgin because they weren't going to let us put that song on the record because intellectual property was taken very seriously then, and they considered what we did, quote, a parody, that it fit legally into parody, and you had to get permission from the songwriter, the intellectual property rights holder, to be allowed to do such a thing. So Mark and I flew to New York and met with Mick Jagger in Peter Rudge's office on a cold winter day in March, a rainy, cold winter day, and had to play off of a cassette on a boom box our mix of Satisfaction for Mick. And of course, we were very, very nervous. And, the circumstances were funny.
Yeah, well, we met him. I mean, we were just a bunch of, spud boys from Ohio, and so the idea of like Mick Jagger walking into the same room we were in, just that alone was like overwhelming. And we put the song on, and it was kind of like, it didn't even feel like it was real. It didn't feel like it was real at all. And then he jumped up and started dancing around the room, doing his dance. He liked the song.
He goes, I like it.
Yeah.
And we were like Bill and Ted's Big Adventure. We had big smiles on our face, like, oh, we're not worthy. But, all the tension in the room went away, and it was a success, and we were going to be able to put it on the record. And we were elated, and we flew back to Los Angeles. And that next Monday morning, we, excitedly tell our new manager, Elliot Roberts, what happened. And he goes, yeah, I know all about it. Peter Rudge called me. He goes, listen, before you guys ever got there, I told Peter to tell Mick to say he liked it because you guys are going to make him a shit ton of money because they retain all the publishing on the song. So he kind of schooled us in.
He definitely took the air out of the tires for us. So we don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but
the more I look back on it, the more I think it was true. It was our introduction to how things really worked in Hollywood.
Bill Hogan asked, who plays the woman with the rolling pin in Satisfaction?
Oh my God, yeah, who was that?
I know who it was. It was
Debbie Smith's mom.
That's it.
Debbie Smith's mom.
That's
Debbie
it.
Smith was the bass player in a band called Chai Pig.
Yeah.
Who we ended up collaborating with them a couple albums later for a song called Gates of Steel.
Yeah.
And the mom was just the perfect mom,
And once again, we were, the talent pool came from friends with like minds, right? Like aesthetically aligned friends. And Debbie coaxed her mom into doing that. And the girl on the couch that Mark's making out with was my girlfriend, who was a school teacher, Linda Waddington, who had recently had to get braces. So we wanted to feature the braces. And then the girl he makes out with in the back seat when General Boy's driving was
Marty Raymond's girlfriend.
Marty Raymond's girlfriend, which I didn't know, but she was my girlfriend too, Jennifer Lasitri. And
we had a small gene pool.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And was there any other talent in there? Well, of course, the famous Spaz Attack, which is some inserts on a B-roll. Spaz Attack was a a fixture in the Hollywood punk scene in the mid 70s. And
We met him because we were playing at the Whiskey,
yeah.
and he jumped up on stage and he would dance for a minute and then he would flip upside down and land on his back on the floor like 4 feet lower
Yeah.
and then bounce back up and keep dancing. And we were like,
Yeah.
we said, before you kill yourself, will you be in one of
Yeah,
our
he was
videos?"
creating basically a punk style of dancing that was, nervous.
Impossible to, nobody could
No,
recreate it.
it was
the only one
fantastic.
who
He was
did
the
it.
best at it. Twitchy, nervous, dangerous. He developed a stage dive. He would flip on stage and land sitting down. But what he would do that was far more dangerous is catapult off the stage at the Whiskey and land on the floor and do the splits. And I was with Tony Basil at the time, and we saw the Screamers playing at the Whiskey when Spaz Attack did it. And she was totally blown away as a choreographer dancer. And so, I introduced him to her, and pretty soon she left me for him. And in the meantime, we sent him to Minneapolis for Chuck Statler to shoot the B-roll inserts for Satisfaction because we couldn't afford to have Chuck and his crew come to Hollywood to shoot Spaz. It was cheaper to send Spaz to Minneapolis. This is one from Mark Dunclift. And he asks, in Come Back Jonee, you flirt with the imagery of the Wild West. Was this born out of a love of film westerns? I suppose because we all grew up in the 50s, we were
Subjected.
we were conditioned with westerns. That's all you saw on television and at drive-in movie theaters. That was the main genre, and we had a love-hate relationship with it. You're bombarded with it, right? You're brainwashed by it, but then you spit it back in some warped way. So our cowboy outfits were, punk cowboy outfits that was commentary on cowboys, and the cowboy bowlers then fit in with that theme. And these are sad old men wearing chaps and big, cowboy hats with the huge brims, whatever those were called, Stetsons, and we were having fun. That made us laugh. And we went back to the cowboy imagery more than once. I mean, clearly, Whip It, our most famous video, which we will get into in another episode, features cowboys in a corral with a log cabin and a great big Western backdrop.
And westerns have this dark energy to them because they promoted this racist idea of white men coming in and conquering
Indigenous people
indigenous people. Yeah.
with guns.
Yeah. And so that the cowboys kind of represented, the mentality of the country to us.
Mark?
Okay, so we're on to
Lisa.
Lisa Villegas Wilson. I've always wondered if there was a member of Devo, past or present, that didn't like potatoes. Or was there really a Johnny? Huh. Well, the first part of that is probably the most serious part of it to ask because potatoes are actually what brought us together in some ways. Where Jerry and I met was because when I was 19 and I was at Kent State, I fell in love with printmaking, and I would wait till 3:30 when the bell rang and everybody ran back to wherever they were going, their dorms or their sorority houses or whatever, and I had the whole art department to myself all night, and I could print like multiple screen prints on a piece of paper, or in the case of what he saw, a lot of things I printed lacquer ink on decals, so they were like slide off decals, and on by the time I finished at 2 in the morning, I'd have a piece of art done because I was the only person there and there was nobody that you had to queue up in line with. And sometimes I just put this artwork up on buildings, on people's cars, on stop signs, on the lavatory doors, on fire extinguishers, and the artwork kind of consisted of like astronauts on the moon, and there were a couple of them where they were on the moon and they were holding potatoes. And I met Jerry. He came to an art class I was in, and he said, "Are you the guy putting up artwork around the campus?" And I go, "Yeah, what of it?" And he goes, "What do potatoes mean to you?" And then he got into this whole thing where he had this whole concept of potatoes being the proletariat of the vegetable kingdom, and we ended up collaborating on visual things after that.
Yeah, I had drawn a set of potatoes with arms and legs attacking black and white photos of graduate students from old yearbooks from the 50s with terrible haircuts, and it was part of my it was part of my first graduate show, and I was just going to, paint them right on the glass. But when I saw Mark's decals on a trophy case, had football trophies in it, and I saw his decals, I had never seen a water release decal printed, like screen printed like that. And I was just so impressed. I thought that's what I should do with the potato men attacking these spuds. And so we bonded over potatoes and screen printing.
Yep, that's true. I don't think there was really a Johnny. I think it was probably a mutated reference to Johnny Be Good.
Right.
And the music, I heard it one night in the basement. You guys were living at Greenwood at this point.
Yeah.
And Bob and Jerry were downstairs playing this music, and it sounded great. And I came in and I just made up lyrics kind of right on the spot.
That's true. Yeah, Johnny is the, archetypal proverbial Johnny. Johnny's always the guy.
Yeah. Johnny.
In the 50s movies, the boyfriend, the hoodlum, the disenfranchised guy, the outsider, Johnny. How do you say that? Orengueno. Paul Macklin, Orengueno Clemens, and Cal asked, which Devo song do you wish you could have made a video clip to but didn't? Uncontrollable Urge, Working in a Coal Mine, Here to Go, Smart Patrol, all of those, actually.
Yeah, all those for sure. And, we would have made a lot more films if we could have. It just was all about money. And, I remember when we first signed with Warner Brothers and we went into our first marketing meeting, and for people that were sitting at the desk, and they go, "Okay, here's how we're going to market Devo. We're going to put big life-size cardboard cutouts of you guys in your yellow suits in every major record store around the country." And that's it. That was their market. And Jerry said, "How much do you guys spend on those cardboard cutouts?" And they go, "Oh, like around $5,000. I don't know why they said that amount, but that's what they said." And he goes, "What if you let us have that money so we could make a video, a film?" And they said,
"Why would you want to do that?"
Yeah. They were like, "What would we do with that?" They couldn't figure it out. They thought it was crazy.
They just thought, "Oh, these are crazy art people. Oh boy, what's going to happen?" And then, of course, 2 years later, MTV
showed up, yeah.
Explodes, and now they all get it. And now it's like, "Hey, you guys got to make a video."